I've been waiting for so long for this goopy to have something to say. Half man running around stealing people's husbands. That woman invited you up in her house thinking that you was an artist. You was coming there to steal her husband, Alicia Keys.
I heard that you guys knew each other before you met and it became romance. So it wasn't love at first sight.
No, it was totally different because we met like when I was 16 and he was 17. And a friend of ours who went to his high school was like, "Oh, you got to meet Swizz," and she was like, "Alicia's about to blow up, and Swizz is doing his thing, and maybe one day y'all work together."
Yeah.
And that was how we met.
So it was just in passing.
Yeah.
Jaguar Wright is determined to douse the burning girl with an ice bucket. And that is all due to her troubled past relationships? Get comfortable, because this is going to be a lengthy one. Before Jaguar Wright began talking about Alicia Keys, the whispers had begun, faded, resurfaced, and finally became a well-known fact that everyone seemed to be ignoring. Or all but Jaguar, who was intent on exposing Alicia Keys as a purported homewrecker. Now, the only way you don't know what we are talking about is if you avoided the internet completely back in the 2010s. And even at that point, you most likely heard the main idea on a sidewalk because everyone's mouths dropped the second Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz began dating. Before his marriage was completely destroyed, the married producer was in a romance that no one could believe. To exacerbate the situation, a large portion of the chronology suggested a potential house invasion. Let us take a brief trip down memory lane and examine the chronology of Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz's highly publicized relationship before we dive into Jaguar's tirade. Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz, whose real name is Qasim Dowd-Deen, did not exactly start off well, but they did meet when they were just teenagers. They first met when a mutual high school friend introduced them when she was just 14 and Swizz Beatz was 16. However, it was not a high school romance or love at first sight, as Alicia Keys revealed in her memoir, More Myself. In fact, despite the fact that they were both rising at the same time, Alicia Keys could not stand Swizz Beatz. We ended up in the same circles at various awards, shows, and industry events. Alicia Keys wrote, "He'd usually pull up in some fancy car, rolling deep with his Bronx crew and shining with diamonds. I wanted nothing to do with that scene or with Swizz." Explaining just how little she wanted to do with him, Alicia Keys told Marie Claire in the UK, "Honestly, I didn't really like him that much. I thought he was too ostentatious." She continued, "Swizz will have the fastest car, the biggest jewelry, the loudest jacket. Everything with him is really over the top. I used to see him and think he is so annoying."
I heard that you guys knew each other before you met and it became romance. So it wasn't love at first sight.
No, it was totally different because we met like when I was 16 and he was 17. And a friend of ours who went to his high school was like, "Oh, you got to meet Swizz," and she was like, "Alicia's about to blow up, and Swizz is doing his thing, and maybe one day y'all work together."
Yeah.
And that was how we met.
So it was just in passing.
Yeah.
At first, Alicia Keys might not have been into Swizz Beatz, but after working together in the studio, the two clicked. In her memoir, Alicia recalled, "The more we talked, the more I noticed how his mind worked. There was more to it than the loose-fitting pants and sleeve tattoos. He knew exactly what was going on in the globe." Thus began the captivating tale of love.
And then how long before your eyes locked and you guys got married? Like, how long was your courtship?
You know, I think that what it was that what happened with us, it was so crazy because we've obviously known each other for so long, been friends for so long, and been in the same industry for so long,
right?
But never, thought it was like that. And he's actually kind of a little too ostentatious for my taste. Like,
flashy.
He likes he will wear
I know.
1 but 16 chains.
I know.
And then, not just a regular car. It has to be like the
Bugatti.
most craziest car of all time.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think what happened was he really got me when I saw how far his mind went. He's really, really intelligent.
But from their point of view, it was only a dynamic love story. There was another person involved who was not particularly happy about their happily ever after. In 2008, when Alicia and Swizz first started dating, he was still married to his first wife, which is actually R&B singer Mashonda Tafrere. They also had a son together, so things got messy right away. Mashonda was not silent about her displeasure, and shortly after, Alicia Keys posted on Twitter, "In love, is it better to go for the choice that is smart or the choice that has spark?" After trying to contact Alicia Keys for 2 years, Mashonda said, "She had only received persistent acts of selfishness and unease from me and my son. My concern with Alicia Keys is no longer the fact that she assisted in destroying a family, but that she has the audacity to make these selfish comments about love and wanting to be with someone, even after knowing their situation. She used Mashanda Loyal as her Twitter handle. I feel that after 1.5 years of you hiding this affair and acting like it doesn't exist, that now is the time to confront it, since you talk so openly about it now. You have no idea how much pain I was caused because of this affair. She continued, "If you are reading this, Alicia, let me start by saying, you know what you did, you know the role you played, and you know how you contributed to the ending of my marriage. You know that I asked you to step back and let me handle my family issues that you helped to create. As a woman, I expected so much more from you. I never had intentions on reaching out to you this way, but after reading your tweets tonight and the constant disregard, you left me no choice." Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz, however, denied having an affair. The pair claims that they only reunited after he and Mashanda had split up. But while they could claim this and mean it, their version of events wasn't the end of the drama for their relationship. On the 25th of October, 2000, Swizz gave birth to a son, Prince Nasir, during his prior relationship with Nicole Levy. Additionally, Swizz and singer Jonna Sebastian welcomed a daughter, Nicole, on May 22, 2008. A truly blended family, huh? In fact, Alicia sung about it back in 2016. Mashanda wrote and published Blend, a book about co-parenting, taking a cue from Alicia. And you heard that right? Alicia and Mashanda ironed out the issues between them and have now become the picture-perfect but practical models of co-parenting. But it didn't happen overnight. It took 2 years into our blending to make it happen. But when we did, it was like turning the light on, Mashanda told People magazine. We realized we could minimize the impact on our children by reducing the conflict we had with one another. According to Swizz, the reason they were all able to end the issue was, "We have kids involved in this, and we have to take the time out and go back to that word communicate and understand that everybody has their right to react. Everybody has the right to their emotions, and everybody has the right to figure out how to move forward as adults and as parents." Alicia Keys, the third of the 3 co-parents, has also discussed their improbable but essential situation. In an interview with People magazine, Alicia added, "Mashanda and Swizz and I worked and prayed together and allowed the space for everyone to be heard. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. The kids are going to graduate high school, college, get married. One day we're going to be grandparents to the same babies. All things we want to be celebrating," Mashanda added. "You can co-parent with someone and completely hate them, or you can do the work. It's about being an example of love and wholeness for your child." However, the fans had a lot to say, and the drama pot had been stirred in the middle of the love and light. There were those who supported Alicia, such as this individual who stated, "I hate when people act like Alicia Keys forced Swizz Beatz to cheat on his then-wife Mashanda." And this other person who said, "For the people in the back, Alicia Keys did not steal that woman's husband. They were already separated because her husband had a baby with someone else. She just needed someone to blame why he was never coming back." Someone else added, "Here's the thing, Alicia Keys did not wreck Mashanda's and Swizz's marriage. It was already weak, and Mashanda was the only person who didn't know it. An outside person can't wreck a marriage if the marriage is strong, period." But there were other fans who believed that Alicia Keys did it all, and even more. The media had tagged Alicia Keys as a homewrecker, and the audience was buying it all. As someone wrote, "I love Like You'll Never See Me Again by Alicia Keys, but ever since somebody told me she was singing about a married man, I be feeling guilty listening to it." One other person said, "Saw Alicia Keys trending and thought she got with someone else's husband. She didn't, but she did produce an upcoming Netflix movie about being a homewrecker." For those who already made up their minds, Alicia Keys will forever be seen as just a basic homewrecker. But as fans wrestled with choosing a side, one person who was clear about her stance from day one was Jaguar Wright. Back in October 2020, Jaguar Wright felt the rumors couldn't be ignored any longer and went live to spill all the details she had about Alicia Keys' history with relationships.
That woman invited you up in her house, thinking that you was an artist. You was coming there to steal her husband, Alicia Keys. You goofy pig.
Jaguar Wright spoke her mind in the video from her live stream. She didn't just stop at commentary, she came straight for Alicia Keys' marriage, claiming that Alicia only tied the knot and had children to cover up her true sexuality. One of the longest-standing rumors surrounding Alicia is that many believe she isn't actually heterosexual. And if that wasn't already on your radar, her performance with Usher at the Super Bowl halftime show might have been your wake-up call. Because according to fans, the chemistry between the Grammy-winning stars felt way too real to be chalked up to rehearsals. Usher's much-anticipated halftime show was already electric, and things kicked up a notch when the heavily rumored special guest Alicia Keys finally hit the stage. The two R&B legends opened with a snippet of Alicia's "If I Ain't Got You," then melted the crowd with a nostalgic performance of their 2004 Billboard Hot 100 chart topper, "My Boo." And to top it off, an embrace that had social media spinning. If you've seen the original My Boo video, you'll remember Alicia and Usher as on-screen lovers getting close in the heart of Times Square. 2 decades later, they revived that same energy, this time with Usher wrapping his arms around Alicia from behind as they sang their duet center stage. But once that hug happened, the floodgates burst wide open, and fans were more than ready to unpack the moment. One person dropped a comment, and someone else chimed in with their own take. But honestly, there wasn't much left to debate because, as the Shade Room had already pointed out, Swizz Beatz had already spoken on his wife's viral moment with Usher. Back then, he didn't show the slightest bit of jealousy or concern. Instead, he took to social media and made it clear he wasn't here for the jokes or gossip. His focus? Putting the spotlight back on his wife's talent, not the internet's wild theories. Y'all talking about the wrong DN thing. Y'all don't see that amazing dress covering the entire stadium. Tonight's performance was nothing but amazing with 2 amazing giants. Congrats, Air Usher and my love, Alicia Keys. That song is a classic. Swizz took to Instagram and shared a post of his own. Just a few days after the Super Bowl, The Breakfast Club dropped an exclusive YouTube interview with Usher. Around the 19-minute mark, Charlemagne Tagod brought up some of the wildest moments from Usher's past performances. The conversation kicked off with Usher recalling his viral 2014 VMA set with Nicki Minaj, where he admitted he probably shouldn't have smacked Nicki's behind. But then the focus shifted to his recent Super Bowl moment with Alicia Keys. Usher took the time to share his perspective on the performance and even seemed to subtly respond to the folks online who felt like he got a little too close to a married woman. And honestly, that might just be the magic in Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys' relationship. Over the course of more than 10 years together, they've navigated a divorce, blended their families, survived a global pandemic, and still, their love holds steady. But what about you? Do you think all that drama was worth it in the end? Or maybe this relationship isn't even that messy compared to some of the other celebrity couples out there? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you.